You're listening to the Save the Date podcast, where we talk all things weddings, jewellery and romance. With love from Cullen Jewellery.
Hello and welcome back to the Save the Date podcast. I'm Sheridan.
And I'm Juliette, and we are so happy you're here.
Today is all about the week of the wedding. So we're going to talk you through everything that you need to do and should be doing in this final week of wedding planning.
So sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it.
The first thing that I highly recommend doing in this final week of wedding planning is taking time off work. So if you're someone that works full time, obviously it can be very stressful also planning your wedding. But in that final week, like there's just so much to do that if you can take at the very least a few days off in the lead up to the wedding, it will be like your lifesaver.
Even, just to mentally prepare, like to get I feel like if you're trying to do too much the week of the wedding, not just physically, getting those final few things done, but just mentally give yourself the break of, letting yourself enjoy the week leading up to your wedding rather than like having so much flying around your head that it's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, because I think that's important too, is that like you don't literally just want to be stressing out the whole time before your wedding. You want to be able to try and enjoy some of the process, even though it is like you might still have a lot going on. But yeah, if you can just like take the pressure off of one extra thing being your work and just be able to like go with the flow and actually spend some time relaxing in the middle of doing like your wedding planning things. Yeah, it's going to make a world of difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not in the position to take time off work, see what you can do with your loved ones for them to help take that stress off your plate. Like if there is still a bunch of last minute things that you have to get done, maybe someone else can help you out with those if you're unable to take some time off.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good tip as well. All right. The next thing that is also really important in this last week is spending some quality time with your partner. I think it's easy to forget, but like these are the last moments that you'll spend with your partner before you get married. And I know that like if you're already living together and kind of going about life almost as a married couple anyway, not much is necessarily going to change when you get married, but it's still like taking the next step in your relationship, and things do sometimes feel a little bit different even though nothing is actually different. So yeah, I definitely think it's important to like try and spend, even if it's just like a date night together in that week before the wedding, just to kind of like try and ease each other's nerves and just
soak it all in.
Soak it in, yeah.
Enjoy the time and get excited. And just, it's just that. Enjoying each other's company, enjoying each other's time, getting excited for it.
Especially because like wedding planning can take a bit of a toll on a relationship. And because you're stressed out about it, you can it can make like you be a bit more short and not as like patient with your partner sometimes. So like even if it's just trying to be a little bit more patient with them and just be with them. I think something that would be really nice is to like go through your old photos or something with your partner.
Something like cute.
Just spend like one night. Yeah, even if you don't necessarily go out for dinner or anything, just like spend one night in with like a slideshow of your photos together while you like do some last minute wedding things even. Just to reminisce. Reminisce on the good old days.
All right. Our next tip or our next point is self-care. And this may be arguably the most important point because, it's just preparing yourself mentally to just, again, I get it comes back to enjoying it rather than it being consumed by stress and worry about all these other things that are going on because it's such a busy time in the lead up all that last week. So taking those little moments of just me time, or again, time with your partner if you want to do this together, and to just ground yourself and make yourself feel a lot better about things if you are quite stressed or something.
Yeah, if you can, just try and find like little moments to do things that like make you feel happy and calm and relaxed, no matter what that is. Like, it doesn't really matter. But just, yeah, in those moments where you do have time to like take a breather, think about what you can fill that time with that's going to make you feel better, rather than like dwelling on all the things you still have to do.
Yeah. Or, yeah, instead of doing things that are just going to make you more stressed. If you can feel yourself already being really stressed, like, it's okay to take an hour off to just not think about it. Go do something that you love. It'll all get done. Trust me. Somehow you always pull it off.
Yeah.
And it always comes together. It always ends up being fine. So if you need an hour or two to yourself, and just, whether that be hide away somewhere with a book, or
scrolling on TikTok,
going shopping, go do that.
Yeah. I think we spoke about this in our avoiding wedding planning burnout episode. But like, if you are feeling so stressed that like you just can't get out of that mindset, taking like just an hour away is going to make you feel so much more calm, and you'll be able to go back into that task with like such a more clearer, that is not correct grammar,
more clearer.
with a clearer, like with a clear mindset. Let's just put it at that. You'll be able to go back to that task with a clear mindset and actually like show up for it and produce something that you're happier with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It can make the biggest difference, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, and you could just get things done quicker as well when you're not. Like, I feel like sometimes when I'm stressed, like, I spend 20 minutes stressing and I'm like, what have I done? I'm like not even doing anything. I'm just clicking back and forth between tabs. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It sounds like you're doing a lot because you're typing or clicking, but it's just nothing's happening.
Clicking around.
This kind of leads us into our next point, which is, if throughout that week you'd feel like you have no time to do anything, but you have like a brow appointment booked, use that brow appointment as your self-care.
Also, on this same note, just side note real quick. I saw on TikTok this week, was it this week or maybe last week, this poor girl, she got her eyebrows done, I guess, the week of her wedding.
Oh no.
This is a bit off topic, but it's relevant. And she had an allergic reaction to whatever the product she used.
I think I saw, and her whole face blew up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did see that.
So maybe trial that before.
Yes.
If that's going to be your self-care, make sure it goes well.
Yes. So a big thing when it comes to your beauty appointments, especially in this last week before the wedding, is do not try anything new. I don't care how many good reviews this place has.
No, don't do it.
Don't do it.
And make sure, even if it is a regular place that you go to often or you've been there before, don't feel embarrassed to ask the question, are you using the same products you used on me? If you know you're prone, especially to allergies. I mean, in general, it's good to ask, but in particular, if you are prone to allergies or if you've got sensitive skin and stuff, don't be afraid to ask, because I think that's what this girl, in her situation, it was that like she gets her eyebrows done regularly, but it was just a particular ingredient maybe that they used on the day. I can't remember if it was a new place or, you know, she had been there before. But yeah, obviously they used something that she was allergic to and her eyes just blew up. So yeah, just it's okay to ask the question to make sure they're using the same product that they were last time they treated you.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
That's a good one, because it is very common for like beauty, what would they be called? Salons or stylists.
Yeah.
Brow artists, I don't know, to like trial new products, and they're constantly like looking for better products that are going to, you know, for like brow dyes and things like that are going to last better and have a better outcome. But yeah, you don't know how that's going to react with your skin. So That's a big one.
Yeah, a side note tip, because that's going to create more stress. We want to de-stress.
Yeah. I would say even I've written down at least 2 months before the wedding date. Don't try anything new. Just because like you never know. And if you have like a really bad reaction to something, it can like take a long time to fix it.
Yeah.
Especially like if something causes you to like break out really bad, you might not be able to fix that for a while and you might end up with scarring.
Or even, if it's like some sort of eyebrow tint.
Yeah.
Eyebrow microblading, like all of that kind of stuff. Or it's like lash lifts, all of that kind of stuff can go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Like I've literally seen people get eyebrow, I don't know if it was lifts or tints or whatever, and their tint, and their lashes fell out because they were, I don't know if maybe they did it incorrectly or something happened, but like that's an example of even 2 months out, you may not have fully grown back eyelashes if that was to happen.
Yeah, or even like brow laminations are really popular.
Yeah.
And like if you've never had a brow lamination and you're going in for like your first ever one a month before the wedding, I don't really know how long it takes your brows to grow out, but like I imagine that they might still be not back to normal after a month. So like even something like that you think might be done and gone, like it might not be.
Yeah, no. Botox, another big one.
Yeah.
Takes off. It takes a few months to wear off if it's not
If
good.
something goes wrong, yeah.
Oh, that would be the worst.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Oh, I hope that never happens to anyone. Anyways, back to today's topic.
Yeah.
Actually, that leads into our next point, which is beauty appointments.
Yes.
But you can also use your beauty appointments as, a self-care little kind of something to get you ready for the week. So like a hydrating skin treatment, nothing that's abrasive, nothing that's stripping of the skin. Just, hydration, really gentle something, maybe a massage, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. A massage would be ideal.
Yes, they're all good beauty treatments to get done in that last week if you still want like to feel special and relaxed and get yourself ready and looking amazing and feeling amazing. Yeah, they're all the kind of treatments that are acceptable to do in the last week.
Yes. Something I think as well that you might not think about is speak with your makeup artist about any treatments that they recommend or that they like discourage you from doing. Because I know that when I got my makeup done, when I was speaking to my makeup artist, she just said, if you want to get like lash extensions, you can, but there can be like fallout onto the extensions that's kind of hard to remove at the time. And then she also said, please don't get a lash lift because like lash lifts obviously curl your lashes up. They can make it harder to do
like fake lashes
and everything like that. Yeah. So just speak with your makeup artist. They might be fine with it, but it's just like worth speaking to them as well, because they'll also be able to know like what you actually want as your final outcome for how you want your makeup to look, whether that treatment is actually going to be beneficial or if they're going to be able to do it just as well, if not better, with like fake lashes or something.
Yeah. Nails, spray tan, these are also obviously maybe more obvious treatments that you would be getting done in that last week as well. So just setting time for those things. Yeah. I suppose this is kind of why it's probably like a nice idea to take that week off or at least a couple days off so you can get those treatments done during the day rather than rushing around outside of work hours to go get your nails done, spray tan, these beauty treatments. Yeah. So, that's kind of like it's not just like actual wedding things. Like if you're finishing off like the little, I don't know, name cards for the tables, like, I don't know, you may already have that kind of stuff done, but it's more, I guess, personal stuff. Yeah. Rather than major wedding things. Yeah. That you'd be finishing off in this week.
Spray tan is another one that like don't go to a new place.
Yeah.
Or,
Don't get experimental with the
like if you've
darkness.
never had a spray tan before, maybe don't get a spray tan
Yeah.
for the wedding, because
Yeah.
you just really never know.
Yeah. And yeah, make sure you know, or you've experimented with the darkness of the tan. Like I don't know if you can get like light, medium or dark. Like I
I've
think
honestly never had a spray tan.
yeah, I can't
But
only
I'm
maybe had
pretty
once.
sure you can have like different levels. Because like
Yeah.
I know you can with like at home fake tan. There's like
Yeah.
ultra dark and like that
So-
kind of thing. So
Yeah, experiment with that at least once or twice
yeah.
in the months leading up to your wedding, because again, it's one of those things that once it's very hard to reverse, especially in that last week
Yeah.
with something like a spray tan. You don't want to be looking like an Oompa Loompa or something.
Or just like not even necessarily looking like if it goes like really
Orange, way too dark.
But like it might just look way too dark.
Yeah.
And like it might be a really nice color, but if you're not someone that ever usually gets like a dark spray tan, you might just not feel like yourself.
Yeah.
And that's enough to like make you spiral.
It's where you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
oh no, what have I done?
And then the last one is hair appointments. Don't try and experiment with anything like right before the wedding. Generally, I would say if you're getting like a fresh color done, I'd probably do it like at least a couple weeks before, just in case there's like something that you don't really like. You've got time to go back and get it fixed. Same with haircuts. If you have like really long hair, or I don't know, even like my length or your length, sometimes when you get a haircut, it can kind of just feel like funny for the first couple,
Yes.
like for the first week or so. And then after that, it kind of like settles down. And I don't know why that happens, but for whatever reason. So yeah, don't get like a fresh haircut like right before the wedding, just in case, like for that kind of reason. The only people who should be getting a haircut like right close to the wedding is if you have like for people who have really short hair, like fades and things like that. Obviously they can grow out quite quickly. Like within a week it might not look as fresh and like sleek. So yeah, if that's like what your hairstyle is like, mainly like males and things like that, yeah, you might want to get it done closer. Or if you have like a really sleek bob as well, because that's another thing that like within a week or two, it can kind of
Drop a bit,
just grow out that tiny little bit that it's not 100% perfect anymore.
Yeah. All right. Our next one is wedding shoes. Now, ideally, you probably want to be wearing these to break them in a little earlier than the last week, but this is your final chance. If you haven't done that yet, I would definitely recommend trying to break in your wedding shoes, even just like dancing around in them a little bit as well. If you've been doing some like dance rehearsals or practicing with your partner with your first dance and stuff, definitely even do a few practices with both of your shoes on, so you know what they feel like. You can break them in so they don't hurt your feet as much. Definitely want to be doing this in that week.
I think that like if you haven't really done anything, if you haven't worn them at all before this like final week, wear them as much as possible. Like if you're doing the dishes, wear your wedding shoes. If you're vacuuming the house, put them on. Like just anything around the house, because they're not going to get dirty just being worn like while you're cleaning the house. But you're going to be able to like feel more comfortable in them, get used to walking in them, and just so that on the day you're not like hobbling around. But especially like you have to stand for a while during your ceremony. So like uncomfortable shoes just would make that experience so much worse.
Yeah. And another kind on the same sort of vibe with shoes in that last week, I know sometimes people can have their rehearsal dinner and stuff like that in the lead up in that last week. Don't wear other shoes that will hurt your feet, because if you get a blister, this is also a problem. A couple days.
Thought about that.
Yes, a couple days, or sometimes the rehearsal dinner is the night before.
Yeah.
If you get a blister from your rehearsal shoes, not bad. Bad for wedding day. So something else to keep in mind.
Oh my God. That just, I don't know why it made me think of, but did you see the photos of Sabrina Carpenter after the Met Gala?
Oh, no.
She was like on her way to the after party, I'm pretty sure.
Shoes.
And she, no, she had
yes.
shoes on, but she had like Peppa Pig or like some kind of like Band-Aids on.
I did see that.
So, I mean, you can make it stylish,
Yes.
but you would much rather be comfortable.
Yes, rock some Band-Aids. Or, I mean, Band-Aids are probably, they'd help you in that situation, but you want to avoid.
Yeah.
More so for the comfort.
All right, next up we have your final dress fitting. So generally this will be like 1 to 2 weeks out. And the reason for this is because you obviously want your dress to fit you as perfectly as possible on the day. And because like weight fluctuates so much, you want it to be fitting you perfectly as soon, like as close to the wedding as possible. So if you have your final dress fitting like 3 or 4 months out from the wedding, you might like lose a couple kilos, gain a couple kilos, you don't know, between, you know, those few months. So yeah, you'll have your final dress fitting generally either in this final week or possibly the week before. But now is not the time to make any drastic changes to your dress.
No.
For starters, like you generally just won't have time. Like your seams just won't have time to do it. But because there is so much going on, you will most likely end up regretting it if you try and change something really drastically.
Yeah.
It's just very risky.
Yeah. Not recommended.
I saw
Unless you absolutely hate something,
Yes.
I would not do this.
Yeah.
But hopefully you've established if you hate something earlier
Far
on.
earlier on. Yeah. I have seen someone on TikTok, I haven't seen it for a long time, it was a while ago, but they either like took the straps off their dress or changed the way that like the top sat literally like a few days before the wedding. Like they were cutting this dress like a few days before the wedding, and it turned out fine. Thankfully, like it was perfect. I think it must have been that she cut straps off because it was like for whatever reason they just couldn't get the straps to sit the way that she wanted them to, and so she was like, I'm done.
We're going strapless.
We're going strapless. Which like that's risky as well. Thankfully it like worked out for this person, but yeah, probably not the time.
Not ideal.
Not ideal to
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the thing is like I feel like I have heard other stories as well where the final dress isn't completely finished until a couple weeks out as well. So like maybe in one of those situations you might find yourself like last minute changing something.
Yeah.
I suppose that's a situation where it's like it's finished and this is your like first proper try on maybe and you hate something.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Still,
I hope that doesn't happen to you.
No. Something else with your dress is that your dress should fit you. You don't have to fit the dress.
Yes.
So if something is feeling too tight, too loose, too whatever, make sure that you speak to your seamstress about it to get them to tailor it to fit you. I don't know if I've told you this, but this happened to me with my dress. I went to pick my dress up on, I think it was the Friday, so like a week and 1 day before the wedding. And she'd had it dry cleaned, which was fine. Like my dress was direct off the rack, so it was like a bit dirty. It needed to be cleaned. But she'd had it dry cleaned and it was wet. Like, which I don't think is supposed to happen when you get something dry cleaned. But it had been, I think she put it in to get dry cleaned on like the Monday. She got it back on the Wednesday. This was the Friday and it was still wet, like damp. And we could not get it on. Like we could not zip it up. Like this dress, obviously I think because it was the like off the rack dress, the fabric had kind of stretched out a bit.
Yeah.
And so once they cleaned it, and I guess
it
potentially not cleaned correctly, it all
Shrunk.
of the fabric shrunk back to original. So I literally, this dress was already a touch too tight.
Yeah.
But it was like,
Wearable.
it was fine. It was
Yeah.
wearable. It was still comfortable.
Yeah.
But it was like the tiniest bit too tight. And it was a week before my wedding. And my dress didn't fit. And I was like,
how did you even fix that?
So I guess they must have like extra fabric in the dress or something
to allow for that. Yeah.
So she was just able to take it out, and it didn't need much. It was probably only like, I don't know, maybe an inch total.
Yeah.
That like needed to be let back out. But
That's so lucky. Oh my gosh.
At the time, I think I just was like in denial. And I was like,
fine.
It's fine. Like, you know what? It's literally, it was already a little too small.
Yeah.
You know, this is probably a good idea that now when I like get it back, it'll probably fit me a lot better. And it wasn't until I think like a couple of months after the wedding that I was like,
I can't believe that happened.
It all just like hit me one day. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, it was very
stressful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Literally my mum and my sister were messaging me being like, are you okay? Like, is my sister messaged me the next day, or because I went and then picked it up on the Sunday. So it was only a couple of days.
Yeah.
I think my sister messaged me on the Sunday and she was like, hey like
girl.
Mum told me about your dress. I'm so glad it fits now. Are you okay? And I was like, I'm so fine. It fits. Like, it's whatever.
Great.
Oh dear.
On the brink of tears.
Everything's going wrong. It's fine. There's something else with your dress is that you are going to be most likely wearing it for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
So you want it to be comfortable. You want to be able to like breathe, obviously, in your dress.
Eating space.
Eating space, yeah. And make sure that it's not like digging in anywhere, like under the arms, like you can move your arms freely. I know some dresses, obviously, if they have like the draping shoulders, like I know you can't move your arms in that, but that's a sacrifice for that kind of dress. But yeah, make sure it's not digging in anywhere and like feeling uncomfortable, because like I was saying before, you have to like stand for a decent amount of time for your ceremony, and you don't want to be like constantly uncomfortable. There's like one bit of your dress that's just like really digging in, and you can't like stand up straight.
Yeah, no.
All right. Our next point is in this final week is to steam your day of outfits. Try not to have this like planned to do on the wedding day, because it can take a decent amount of time steaming your wedding dress. There's a lot of fabric on them, and it will most likely take more time than you think it will. I would say probably try and do this the day before the wedding. And once you've like, if you're going somewhere and staying that night to get ready on the wedding day, like once you've arrived wherever it is that you're going to be getting ready, just so that you can leave your dress like laying out and it's not going to get crumpled.
Yeah. And on that same note, kind of like what we were just saying a second ago, is even steaming your dress can sometimes leave it just slightly damp.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to be wet putting it on. And this same goes for your bridesmaids dresses and stuff. I know it's very common to have that kind of satin silk dresses, and I know they get damp very easily with the steamers. So that's something, definitely want to be doing that the day before instead of day of.
We have a couple of tips for steaming your dress. So the first one is to use bottled distilled water and not tap water. I'm not sure if this is mainly a thing in the US, because I haven't really heard anyone speak about it here. But apparently in maybe some other countries, the minerals in tap water can potentially like stain your dress. Again, I don't really know the science behind it. So use bottled distilled water. And I guess like better to be safe than sorry, even if you are here in Australia. Just you don't want to risk it.
No, not at all.
Another one is be really careful steaming your dress near any like stained wood or antique furniture. I've seen a TikTok of someone who was steaming their dress at their venue, and they had it like hanging on an old like antique shelf or wardrobe or something like that, and the varnish from the wood was like getting onto the dress. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So try and do it away from things like on a hanging rack or something like that, where like there's no risk that you're going to get anything transferred onto the dress.
Yes. You don't want that. And also be very careful in general when you're steaming your dress or dresses, because it can burn you.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. If you've never steamed anything before, it can travel through the clothes very easily. And like, so if you've got your hand out behind the dress, like holding it up for you to like steam it, it can literally go straight through and you can severely burn your hand, which obviously you don't want to do that, or don't want to have burned hands on your wedding day.
Yeah.
So yeah, just something to keep in mind if you've never used a steamer before.
Another one that I've seen is to cover the like head, I guess, of the steamer with a white t-shirt or sock. That'll just prevent, because like sometimes they can splatter water.
Yeah.
I have like never used a steamer, so I don't really know. But
No, yeah, it does. I've
they
got
can,
one at
yeah,
home.
like splatter, little bits of water, which like if you're doing it the day before is probably not going to have a really big impact on the actual day, but you might need to do a quick touch up on the day. And yeah, you don't want to have like any little spatters, especially on, like you were saying, like satin bridesmaids dresses or anything like that. And then lastly, try not to do this with makeup on, because obviously like you were saying, it can get quite hot and it might just melt your makeup.
Yeah. We don't want shiny.
No.
Or mascara smudging.
Oh yeah, like running mascara. No way.
And hair, actually, that's also a big one for hair.
Yes.
If you don't want steam, especially if you're someone who has frizzy hair or curly hair, you don't want steam in your direction at all. All right. Okay. So this next one, practice your wedding vows out loud. I feel like we've done a whole episode on this before where we mention this, but it's just good to kind of, one, for you yourself to practice saying them, so you, I guess, can learn them off by heart a little more, so you don't have to look down so much. But another big one is just making sure it flows nicely, and the way you say the vows comes out really nicely and flows well, because sometimes when you're just jotting down words on paper, it might seem like it's a really nice sentence or it sounds really nice, but then when you actually go to speak it, it's a bit of a mouthful and it's really hard to get out. So it's like if you need to tweak a couple words or whatever, it's really helpful to actually speak them out loud.
Yeah. Okay, the next thing that you'll want to be doing in this week is packing your bags. So if you are staying somewhere the night before the wedding, the night of the wedding, make sure that you have everything just like packed and ready to go. Even if there's like little bits and pieces that you need to like quickly chuck in right before you leave, like toothbrushes, phone chargers, things like that.
Wedding rings.
Yes, make sure you have your wedding rings. But yeah, just like throughout the week, start like packing this kind of thing, because it'll just make that like day before the wedding that little bit less stressful. If you already have your bags there pretty much ready to go, all you need to do is like zip them up and put them in the back of the car.
Mm-hmm. And this can also include like if you're having like a little purse. I got purse. a little purse on the day, or a little I don't know if you'd be necessarily carrying around a little bag yourself, but some sort of little thing where you can put Band-Aids, I don't know if you a lip liner, lip gloss, lipstick, whatever, like just those little essential things that you might need throughout the night of your wedding or throughout the day. That can be really helpful to have that pre-packed. Just couple mints, maybe something all of those little things that you just want to put in like a little handbag sort of thing. So you don't, again, not rushing around trying to pack that on the day last minute.
And then lastly, also you can start packing your honeymoon bags if you're going on your honeymoon like straight away. Again, like this can also just be unfinished, but if you've got the majority of things ready to go, it'll just make like the day after your wedding, when you like actually need to have everything ready, that much easier. Next up, you'll want to finish any DIY decorations. I would say hopefully these are done.
Yes.
But I know how it is when you're planning a wedding, that like sometimes you just end up with a million and one things to do in that final week. So if you can, try and get it done earlier in the week. Try and delegate as much as you can. Like use, your parents, your bridesmaids, your partner as much as you can to like get them to actually help you out, so that you're not just sitting there alone in like your lounge room surrounded by
tears.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's funny. Yes.
Yep. Get it done early.
Get it done early.
As early as you can.
Yeah. You don't want to be like literally the day before the wedding trying to finalize things, because I mean, if you are, it's fine. Like you're going to be okay.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. It'll get done. But yeah, if you can get it done earlier, the earlier the better. It's just going to make your life so much easier. The next thing that you will hopefully be able to do in this final week is deliver any decorations to your venue. So this might not be the case for everyone. It will be completely dependent on, venue to venue. But if you can, you might be able to take things like your welcome signs, your menus, any table decorations, photos, if you're having like photos, your guest book, anything like that you might be able to take in early. And if you can, I highly suggest you do. It's just another thing that is going to be off your plate so that you don't have to think about it on the wedding day.
Yeah. Another kind of biggish thing you want to do is touch base with your bridal party and make sure that everyone is on the same page. Sometimes in the, storm of it all, with so many things going on, sometimes miscommunications can happen. So you just want to make sure everyone is on the same page. They know where they need to be. If you are delegating any task to a particular person on that day, make sure go over it with them maybe one more time just to make sure it's all clear. Confirming things like arrival time, make sure that they know your expectations of them on the day. Yeah,
100%. If they don't already, I would just give them a copy of the timeline, even if it's just like sending it in your group chat for the whole day, so that they also have a bit of an idea of how the whole day is going to be running if they don't already. And then also if there's anything last minute that you need anyone to bring on the day, just let them know. Even if it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to buy bread.
Yeah.
For toast in the morning.
Yeah.
Or something. Like just delegate that to, put it in your like bridesmaids group chat. Say, hey guys, I need someone to grab this on the way in the morning. Please put your hand up.
Yeah, please.
Someone, please, I'm begging you. Next up, we have writing any thank you notes or any letters to your partner. So these might be things like a thank you letter to each of the people in your bridal party, your parents. It might even be your vendors. Like if you've had a specific vendor that has helped you out a lot, you might just want to write them like a little thank you. No, it's not, you don't have to by any means. But it's just something that like if you're feeling kind of easy breezy or inspired, or even if like you're feeling stressed but you have nothing else to do, like this can be something that might just ease your mind and like fill that time to just write some kind words for some other people. And this is also a good time to organise any tips for your vendors if it's expected where you are. This won't be expected everywhere, but I know like especially in the US, Most vendors, I think, expect
A tip.
at the end of the night. So that's another thing that you can also get done in that final week if it's not done already.
You can also write a letter to your partner and give this to them on the day as well. So this can obviously be a bit more of like a love letter perhaps, where it's not, I mean, you wouldn't have to thank them for anything. It's a bit different to your thank you notes for everyone else. But yeah, this can be something really cute that you can either leave it somewhere for them to read in the morning when they wake up. You can give it to them, I don't know, sometime throughout the day. But yeah, it can be really cute just to kind of write your thoughts and feelings down in the lead up to the wedding so that they can open it on the day. It can be quite cute.
I think it's a nice way as well because obviously, yes, you say your vows on your wedding day, which are generally like personalized and quite, lovey-dovey. But you also are aware that you're saying those things like in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Whereas with this letter, like you can be that little bit more personal and like, just include some more things that you like about them.
Yeah. Extended version.
Yeah.
Of your vows.
10-minute version.
10-minute version. Your vows.
I will give you props if you label that the vows
10 minutes version.
Your name version bracket 10-minute version.
Is recommended, but not.
Please send it to us. We want to see.
We want to see it.
Most importantly, in this final week before the wedding, relax and try to have fun. Like we said, wedding planning, yes, is very, very stressful, but just try and like enjoy it as much as you possibly can. You're about to experience, I guess, like one of the best days of your life. So make sure that you enjoy all of the moments leading up to it as well. We've spoken about this before, but if you try and enjoy the wedding planning process as much as possible, you are far more likely to really enjoy yourself on the actual wedding day versus like if you've been stressing out and losing your mind. You might feel still stressed out and still losing your mind on the day.
And just ride the wave when things go unexpectedly.
Yes.
It'll be fine. It'll work out in the end.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Save the Date podcast. We hope you learned something new, and if you're currently planning your wedding, congratulations, good luck, and have fun.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you follow or subscribe and leave us a review wherever it is that you're listening.
Make sure to come and connect with us on our socials at the Save the Date podcast and join our Facebook group, the Save the Date community. We hope you have a wonderful day or night, and we'll be back with another episode next week. Bye.
Bye.